In this video, I'm going to give you the 5 essential skills you need to master to be a great salesperson. If you master these 5 essential skills, you'll be ahead of 90% of your competitors. Skill number 1, developing rapport. My theory in selling goes like this: like, trust, then buy. Everything goes in a certain order, especially in nature. We learn to crawl before we can walk. We learn to walk before we can run. And so it is in sales. People need to like you before they trust you. They need to trust you before they'll buy from you. That's the theory behind like, trust, buy. And when people like you, you're building rapport. That's all building rapport really is getting people to like you. And I'm not talking about social media thumbs up liking. I'm talking about genuinely liking you. They like your personality. And the way that people start to like you is if you show interest in them. Most people are just concerned about them. And if you show an interest in what their issues are, hobbies, job, work, things that they do at work, they're going to appreciate you. And if you do it in a friendly business tone, they'll like you. And that's how you build rapport. Our second essential skill is active listening. You want to be a really good listener. Think about this. If you're not listening to what your prospect is saying, you won't know what to prescribe for them. You won't know how to position your product or service. And you can practice being an active listener in your group with your sales manager, with your sales team. But the key is to pay attention to what they're saying. So for example, your prospect may say to you, I really like your product, but I think it's too expensive. You pause and say, I understand. It sounds like price is an issue for you. Now this does 2 things. 1, it cushions their objection, but 2, it shows them that you're actually listening to what their concerns are. And remember, nobody cares about your product till they really believe you care about them. And you can do that by being an active listener. So we're going to build rapport and we're going to listen to them because that's important. Our third essential skill is to have good, relevant, prepared questions. And I mean relevant by do your homework. Go to their website, go to your prospect's LinkedIn page, see all the activities they're in, read some of their posts, see some of their accomplishments. So you'll have, when you do finally get your prospect on the phone or have an in-person meeting, you'll know about them and you'll know about their interests and accomplishments. And those are the things that you want to highlight when you meet with them. And you do this by asking good, prepared questions. The questions you ask are going to be open-ended questions. Who, what, when, where, how. Who, in addition to yourself, will be involved in making the decision? How do you think this product will impact your process right now? Where do you see this product fitting in with all the other products that you have and use on this project? The idea is to get them to talk. And if you get your prospect talking, they'll tell you what's important to them and how to sell to them. And the way you do that is asking good, prepared, relevant questions. You don't go to the doctor and say, hey doc, I got a pain in my side. And the doctor says, okay, let's take out your gallbladder and see how it goes. That doesn't happen that way. And you shouldn't do that in sales. You shouldn't make any kind of prescription until you diagnose their problem. That's what a professional salesperson does. Our fourth essential skill is empathy. All great salespeople have a very high degree of empathy. And empathy just means walking in someone else's shoes, seeing the world through their eyes. And what it means in business is lowering the risk. Nobody wants to take on a huge amount of risk when they're purchasing a product. Understand this about the business world, especially the corporate business world. The most important thing to someone who has a job typically in the corporate world is to making sure their seat is not occupied when they show up in the morning. And the best way to do that is to make sure they don't take exaggerated risks. So you have to position your product to be a very low risk investment. And aside from that, on the flip side of the coin, you want to set it up so that they believe that it will benefit them in their career and their company. It will deliver the results that you're promising. And that's how you lower the risk. This all leads to our fifth essential skill, which is painting a picture, the real art of sales. We've developed a relationship through rapport. We've asked good questions. We were an active listener. We lowered their risk. We developed some empathy. And now it's time to paint a picture of how much better they're going to be, or the company's going to be 3, 6, 12 months down the road. And you should be able to do that if you've asked and gotten answers to your good questions and your relevant questions. But you might say something like, you know, John, when I look at this, and do you see this in 6 months down the road, we'll have everything implemented. Everyone will be working at a much more efficient pace. Goods and services will get out there much quicker. You'll get better reports. You'll understand more about the business because we're going to give you this report, and this report. And just paint a picture of how much better it's going to be. And in their mind's eye, they will see this and then they'll say, yeah, I think that's for me. I can see it happening for us. And then you'll have completed your cycle through these 5 essential skills. And the next step is closing the business. And when you close and you ask a closing question, it'll occur naturally. It doesn't have to be awkward because you've prepared, you set the stage for the close. And by the time you get there, you'll ask something like, well, it seems like we're in agreement on everything. When do you want to get started? And it will flow naturally. And we'll talk about different closing techniques in other videos. But the purpose of this video is to give you 5 essential things that you really need to master. And if you do that, you'll be ahead of 90% of your competition. I guarantee it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it valuable and helpful. If you did, please take a minute and subscribe and like this video. It really helps my channel and will help other people be better salespeople and create a better selling environment for you. Thanks again.